boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. This is Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things 33 a common sense lens. And it's one of them situations where we know Marvel is in a bad spot, right? They've already announced the fact that they're producing a lot less movies and a lot less television shows, simply because of the fact that everything that they produced over the last few years, especially with their Disney Plus streaming service, has been absolute hot garbage and has failed miserably with the audiences. The fans don't want it. The ratings are absolutely in the toilet beyond all belief. And none of that is going to be any different whatsoever for the new Ironheart series. Yes, the race swapped, gender swapped version of Iron Man that was originally part of the comics Marvel Now initiative that failed miserably, and it was nothing more than trying to force identity politics into beloved legacy characters that have been around forever. Well, guess what? It failed in the comics, and Marvel knows it's going to fail on their television series streaming service as well. How do we know that? Well, there's a couple of different reasons. One of those is, first off, they're dropping half the season at all at once. The first 3 episodes are coming out on day 1. Also, we know that these series are typically greenlight for 9 to 10 episodes. This one has already been drastically reduced from 10 all the way down to 6. And if you can believe the rumors from inside the set itself, from the people that worked on this thing, everybody knew this thing was a pile of steaming garbage right from the get-go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think the Marvel's latest ideology out there, of course, Marvel's latest marketing tactic, just shows you more of the same. And with the actress behind the character herself, Riri Williams, admitting that there is zero plans for season 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Disney knows that they are throwing everything they possibly can at this to try to save a series that the fans don't want and the audiences are going to completely reject. Because as you can see over here from CosmicBook.News, how much did Marvel pay Robert Downey Jr. to shill for Ironheart? And I imagine, boys and girls, it probably wasn't enough. But Robert Downey Jr. is a team player. He's going to be part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And whether he likes the idea of his character getting replaced by a female black girl from the hood who literally steals all of her technology to try to replace him and become iconic, no one will ever actually know the truth except for God himself out there, more than likely, boys and girls. But at the end of the day, we know this isn't going to work. We know that Marvel has no faith and no confidence in this whatsoever, and that Riri Williams will not end up being the Iron Man fake version going forward in the MCU. So we're taking this article from CosmicBook.News, and then, of course, jump over to That Park Place as well to show you off that the actress already herself knows, of course, that this thing has absolutely flatlined and that Marvel has no plans for a season 2 in any way, shape, or form. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2K, and we are sailing our way towards 2100. I think we're at like 2028, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, there's a comment in the section down below. Letting us, what do you think about this? Do you think this was legit? Do you think this was just a marketing ploy? Do you think Robert Downey Jr. actually feels like this? Do you think Robert Downey Jr. even cares at this point as long as he's getting paid? Do you think, of course, Marvel knows that this thing is going to be bad, which is why a second season is not greenlit and why the actress herself even knows that this show is not going to go any farther? Let us know what you think about all that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check the links in the description as well. And if for some reason you think this show is going to be a success and end up getting a season 2, let us know about that as well. All of it is very curious and open to discussion. So from Matt McGloin over there at CosmicBook.News, it looks as if part of Robert Downey's mammoth $100 million Marvel deal to return to the MCU in a desperate attempt to save the franchise includes promoting Ironheart. For the second time, the former Iron Man, who gets replaced by Riri Williams in the comics, promotes the upcoming Ironheart series coming to Disney Plus next week. You can't tell me Robert Downey Jr. is doing this for free. Seriously. And no, why would he? I mean, we already know that they had to roll up a buttload of cash in order to get him to come back for this to try to save the MCU. It's the same thing with the Russo brothers. We know Marvel is desperate right now to make any of this work in any way, that shape, or form that they possibly can. And having Robert Downey Jr. promote a series that we already know is going to fail, that Marvel already knows is going to fail, is just another desperate attempt at that. It's trying to save some kind of face, trying to get some kind of hype built up, using the most beloved, arguably the most beloved character in the MCU, Iron Man himself, to try to promote their garbage identity politics nonsense show. It's just not going to work. The cast of Ironheart, Dominic Thorne and Anthony Ramos, appeared on Good Morning America to promote the series. As if they all didn't know, they were surprised when Robert Downey Jr. appeared and had a video message from the set of Avengers Doomsday. And this is the video right over here. We watched this the other day on our live stream. It really is just like, this isn't anything. This is really, really cringe. So
I think we have a
this
very special message. I think you're going to recognize who this is.
She even starts out with, sorry to interrupt you. We want to make sure you get to see this. And obviously I do like the hat on this. Obviously you got the Doom here with the green logo. Pinewood Studios, which is where they've been working on a lot of this stuff, a lot of the big classics and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, this is cheesy. This is garbage marketing. And isn't Good Morning America like on ABC or something anyway? So this literally is like the cheapest marketing that Disney could have possibly offered for this kind of thing. But I could be wrong.
Good Morning America. The new studio. God, looks great.
Yeah, because I'm sure you've seen the inside of that, and that wasn't a written line for you in any way, shape, or form.
Thorne, I couldn't be happier than to be seeing you bring Riri Williams to life. But
he's literally reading off a script. Watch his eyes move back and forth. He's literally reading off a script.
The hood has me nervous. Is the hood green? Please tell me Mr. Ramos is not replacing me as Dr. Doom via Parker Robbins. Is there something?
Wasn't that so funny? Laugh, you serfs. Laugh.
Not telling me. Anyway, I don't want to step on your interview. Long story short, Iron Man loves Ironheart.
Oh, God. That is so cringe. But what else should we expect from a guy that's gone vegan, but apparently has gone back on that because he looks jacked as all get out from the set photos. Yeah, dude, that is just so.
How make you feel that one of the original Avengers say that?
I love Iron Man too.
Oh, yay. I'm sure none of this was planned and nobody was paid for this and none of this was part of the promotional material in any way, shape, or form. I mean, my God. Could they have gotten any more cheesy? Could they have gotten any more cheesy? And it's desperate attempts like this, but Marvel, that make this no surprise at all. Ironheart Star reveals there are no season 2 plans as Backlash mounts ahead of premiere. I mean, the trailers have gotten ratioed into oblivion. And please give me one example in the comments out there or anywhere throughout history or wherever you find me at. Let me know if there's one single example of a show or of a movie that got its trailer ratioed into oblivion only for it to end up being a success. I can't think of one single example. And Ironheart has absolutely gotten that backlash and will not be a success. In a recent exclusive interview with The Direct, Thorne was asked if there had been any official discussions about his second season. Her reply was simple. No, not yet. And why would they? If they actually believed in this series and thought it was going to do well with the fans and the audience, they'd be releasing every single episode individually, much like what they did with Daredevil Born Again. Almost that entire series came out weekly. This, on the other hand, half the series is getting dropped at once. It's just like Agatha all over again. It's just like Star Wars The Acolyte all over again. They knew this stuff was going to be garbage from the get-go, and they have not even told her anything as far as the future of it. She says, no, not yet at all. She goes on to say that she'd like to see her character, Riri Williams, explore the full range of other options presented to her in season 1, but avoided specifics to prevent spoilers. She added that the show broadens Riri's perspective, opening the door to unexpected choices and teasing possible future directions for the character to go within the wider Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if that was the case, if they were so faithful, they'd already have a green light season 2. We literally had Daredevil Born Again got a green light for season 2 before the show even premiered. They started filming it the weekend that series premiered on Disney Plus. If they really had so much faith and confidence in Riri Williams in the Ironheart series, why didn't they do the same thing? Because Marvel knows this thing is going to fail miserably. Last month, Thorne also revealed that Downey approves of her series, as she told Empire. Robert Downey Jr. and I spoke after we wrapped, and he shared some very lovely words about my journey. He told me how excited he was, that he's rooting for it too, and I literally got 2 thumbs up. It's really assuring to know that you're not embarrassing Iron Man. And you know what? It's not this actress that's embarrassing Iron Man. She has nothing to do with this. It's not Robert Downey Jr. that's embarrassing Iron Man. It's Kevin Feige. It's Bob Iger. It's the showrunner, and it's the writers behind this show that are not only embarrassing the character of Iron Man, but are also embarrassing the character of Riri Williams. She's literally every single stereotype we saw represented in the comics now on screen. She's a thief who works with criminals who, instead of trying to make things better for the rest of the world, instead she says she just wants to make something iconic. And now on top of all of that, they're going to throw magic into the mix as well. I wonder why there's no signs of a season 2 for this show. She added how economically repressed her character is compared to Tony Stark. She's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was this bajillionaire. What she's able to accomplish is remarkable. Now, I don't know about you boys and girls, but I happen to be old enough to remember a very iconic line from the very first Iron Man movie, where Jebediah is screaming at one of his scientists going, "Tony Stark did this in a cave with a pile of scraps." Right? His very first Iron Man suit. He wasn't dumpster diving behind Stark Tech, behind major industrial technology centers, corporations, or behind their factories. No, he literally had a bunch of weapons that got sold to a bunch of people out there in the Middle East that wanted to do really, really bad things with them, and took those pieces apart and built an actual iconic suit, the Mark I, right? So no, Riri Williams, what you're able to accomplish is not remarkable, because Tony Stark did it in a cave with a pile of scraps. Boy, I wonder why. And of course, they're gangsters turned activists. We've got the drag queen. We've got urban Robin Hood stealing from the rich to give to the poor, which is an absolute abomination and an absolute and total lie about the Robin Hood story at the end of the day. But that's something we've rehashed a million times. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, Marvel is absolutely desperate. Kevin Feige and Bob Iger and everybody else over there in charge of this series and in charge of all of the creative decisions that have been made for Marvel over the past decade are responsible for this. This is a desperate attempt to try to tie in Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man character that's going to be in the Avengers movies coming up to this series somehow that's literally been sitting on the shelf for 3 years. Ironheart will have no impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. The best she can hope for is a cameo in one of the Avengers movies that are coming up, where Kevin Feige will use it as an excuse to erase his past mistakes by greenlighting all of these series and greenlighting these abomination characters that did not work in the comics and are certainly not going to work now. If you could not make it and pull it off and make it successful with this most hardcore section of your fan base, the most forgiving section of your fan base that are the comic book fans that have been through a million reiterations, a million different versions of a lot of these characters over the decades, over the almost 100 years that some of these characters have been around for. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's not going to work with the general audience either. Because if you cannot convince your most hardcore fan base to show up, how do you expect to cause a general audience to show up? You're not going to. The premise behind this series is absolute garbage and is an absolute abomination to everything that makes Iron Man what he is. To everything that has made Iron Man the character and the hero's journey that he has gone through in the MCU, and literally craps all over it, puts it on a silver platter, at this point probably more like a bronze platter, shoves it in your face, tells you to sniff it, tells you how lovely it smells, and then tells you how you should eat it because it's going to taste delicious. Well, guess what? Even enlisting Robert Downey Jr. and paying him a bunch of money out of the marketing budget from Ironheart is not going to do you any good. The fans have been and always will be, continue to be smarter than you. We smell what you've been cooking, and Ironheart is nothing more than a disastrous dumpster fire, and none of the Marvel fans will actually be showing up to this in any way, shape, or form. Marvel knows it's going to be bad. That's why there's no plans for a season 2, and that's why they're dumping it all at once. It is a desperate attempt to make sure that this show gets forgotten in the month, and only the month, that it's actually going to premiere on Disney Plus. And at the end of the day, boys and girls, it's going to fail miserably. It's Kevin Feige's fault. He's danced with the devil, and he's going to get exactly what he deserves. Ironheart will flop, no matter how much Robert Downey Jr. loves it. Or loves the paycheck that came with it.